Kakadosh Boker Tov, we're going to mention the last halacha on this siman. We were speaking yesterday about what's going to happen in such a case where a person is stuck on a plane and now it becomes Shabbat. Now we're going to go to whether it's going to be a train or a bus, which means that a person, obviously, they were traveling before Shabbat. We already mentioned that lechatechila you have to travel very, very early on Shabbat, on Erev Shabbat, on Friday morning, because you're not supposed to travel in the afternoon. But if it is that a person came and they were traveling and there was force majeure, there was something that was not supposed to happen, and all of a sudden they get stuck. So it says over here as follows: if somebody's going to be stuck, whether it's going to be on a train or on a bus, and because of a reason he was stuck there, and it's after the Shikiyat HaChama, if the driver is going to be a Jewish driver and there's no sakana, there's no danger, so he's obviously obligated to get off of the bus or the train, and even if it's going to continue, which means it doesn't matter whether the Jew is going to continue on his path. That doesn't matter. And even if it's going to be in a case where he's not going to have Kiddush or Seudah or anything else on Shabbat in itself, he's obligated to get off of the train or off of the bus. If obviously there's going to be a suspicion of sakana, so therefore he's allowed to continue whether it's going to be to his destination or the first place where he feels that he's going to be safe. That's going to be if the driver is a Jewish, whether it's conductor or a Jewish, bus driver. What happens now if the driver is going to be a goy, and therefore anyway he's continuing driving, and all the more so if there's other goyim also on the bus or on the train, and therefore obviously the goy is continuing because of the goyim. So he comes and he says like this: even if there's not going to be any type of a danger whatsoever, you're allowed to continue going until your destination or until you're going to be the place where you could keep Shabbat properly, right? Why? Because if you remember, we already mentioned, whether it was 2 days ago, the entire concept that since you're already in a Shat Dachak, so therefore the goy is allowed to come and take you to wherever it is. You're not actually doing anything. Again, we're not talking about lechatchila that you're doing this on Shabbat. Chas v'shalom, that a person never thinks, lechatchila, I'm going to go and I'm going to go on a bus or I'm going to go on a train or I'm going to go on a thing. I'm not doing anything. The driver opens up the door, I just go inside and I sit down. No, that we're not talking about. We're talking about that you were already there Erev Shabbat. There was a force majeure that happened, and because of this onus or something that happened, you were stuck there. So therefore, we're not going to tell you stay in the middle of nowhere. You're able to continue. However, though, this is as long as you were within the tchum of Shabbat, right, within the time of Rabbeinu Tam, which means within the time of Rabbeinu Tam afterwards, you were already within the tchum of where you live. The tchum is going to be, again, the 2,000 amot of where you live. So therefore, since you're within the tchum, he could continue taking you to where your destination is. But if it's going to be that you're outside of the tchum, so then you're not even allowed to get off the bus, right, or to get off the train, because once you have that you're going to be outside of the tchum of Shabbat, so therefore in such a scenario, you're not allowed to come and you're not allowed to get off whatsoever. So again, these are just the summary of the halachot that we were speaking about until now, and then Bezat Hashem will speak next week about the 3 weeks, Bezat Hashem.